Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Into the Kitchen with Tally Faye. I'm done outside for the day, y'all. Woo, Lordy, I'm tired. But I want to get in here and make this stuff that I'm wanted to show y'all on these videos. And this is really some simple cooking tonight. One of them is old-time salmon patties, y'all. Do you eat salmon patties? A lot of people don't like them. Listen, Buzz don't like them, but that's all right. I will make up a pile of fried salmon patties, and I'll eat them today, and I'll eat them tomorrow. I love salmon patties because I love the way I do them for me, okay? There's lots of salmon patty recipes out there, y'all. Like, what they call them, croquettes? Anyway, I call them patties, okay? It's a salmon patty. My mama used mackerel when I was a kid because it was so cheap and we didn't know the difference, but I buy the salmon. I go ahead and get the salmon, y'all, and see, that's the one I get. I like that. There's a Blue Boy brand one that you can get, and on the back of it, y'all, if y'all don't want to do how I'm doing them tonight, there's a recipe on the back of that. I think it's called Blue Boy is the brand name of it, the canned salmon. And they have a recipe on the back of that can that is a pretty darn good salmon patty recipe, y'all, that has stuff all in it. It has all the goodies in it and this and that and everything. Because, see, I like to do mine with just salt and flour. That is the only thing I'm going to put in these things. Because all I care about on this salmon patty is the crust. I want a crust on it. And I'm going to show y'all how long I cook them. I fry them real slow and easy for a while. And I flip them and flip them and flip them. So, you know, because I want that crust. Without that crust, I don't even want them. Okay? So that's why I take the time to do what I'm doing with them. The way to cook them. But as far as the process of recipe on them, it's salt and flour. And that's it. I'm going to show y'all. I've already done one can. I got 2 cans of them here, okay? And I'm going to show y'all. I've already done 1 can. So I wouldn't have to do 2 of them. But I can't help it. And y'all, you do not have to do this. You don't. My mama wouldn't do it either. But you don't have to take and debone. You don't have to take all the bones and the skin and all that stuff and everything out of them. All of that is very edible. Very. I just like to clean mine up a little bit, and it makes for a cleaner, whiter meat in there, okay? And this leaves all the junk pieces, I call it, in there. See the skin and the little bone cartilages and stuff and everything? And on top of that, your kitty cat will love you. My kitty meow meow will. She'll be loving mama tonight. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and open this 1 can, y'all, and show y'all how I do this. Just in case you don't know. Okay? I'm going to take it, and I'm going to just, let me move this out of my way for the moment. I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to drain the water out of it through this. See, I just have me a sifter thing sitting here in the bowl. Alright? Drain it out, and now I can let it out of there. And it'll come out whole like that, right? Okay? And I know you're having to see it from a distance, but anyway, I'm going to take it and pull it apart like this, right? And I'm going to show you up close what I like to take out of it. And see, that's this. See this dark red meat? I just take my finger and run it across there, and it'll just scrape right off and clean that red out of there. And I think what that is that's the cooked blood in the meat. And it's just more real strong tasting, like real strong fishy tasting like. And I just don't want mine to be like that. I like that clean taste on them. And as well, see, when you, let me see if I can pull it apart here for you. Okay, when I pull it apart like this, see, there's the little bones, and they'll just come right out of there. You can eat these. They are, I mean, they are, look, I can just pinch them together with my fingers. You can absolutely eat them. I'm not, it's just, this is a preference for me, y'all. I'm telling you, my mama wouldn't have took the time to do this. She dumped that can in there and did it. But see that little dark piece of meat and skin there? Look. See, I like to just take it and rake it off of there. So I just take the time to do that. And just pull it or look around at it and get the little bones and stuff. And then I have a nice clean piece of meat there. Without all the bones and the cartilage and all that stuff and everything in there, even though it's cooked very nicely. I just, want it out of there. So I'm going to do this for a minute, get the rest of it cleaned up. Oh, maybe I can show y'all. Oh, look, here's a part. I wanted to show y'all when you pull it apart, look at the skin. Look at that. See that skin? See, I don't want that. It's real strong tasting, so I just take my finger and run it across there, and it'll scrape right off of it, and you got that nice clean piece of meat. I don't try to get every little giblet of it. I'm not saying that. See, look at that dark on there. I want that off. See? So it just comes right off, and then you have your piece of meat there. So I'm going to finish doing this, and I'll be right back. Okay, once you get your meat all cleaned up and everything, right, the very next thing I'm going to do here is I just get me some salt, y'all. And it's a deal where you use salt to taste, right? So you put as much salt in there as you think you want. I like a little bit of extra on mine. It just kind of makes that flavor pop on them good. So there's me some salt. And now I'm going to get me just some regular old flour. And this scoop here is 1/3 cup. So let me see. It's almost that whole 1/3 cup that I put in there with those 2 cans of meat. And I'll put a bunch of it like that even when I'm just doing 1 can, y'all. Because I want a lot of flour in there too. There I go, making my mess. But now I'm just going to take my hands and I'm just going to mix it all together really good. That's all I'm going to do here. See, and look how pretty and nice the meat looks when you clean it up like I do. I like to do that, y'all. It just, I don't know. It just, I just like the taste of it better. And I don't like having, you don't feel those, even though you can chew them up easily, you don't feel those little cartridges and all that stuff in there. Okay. See, so it's like this now, right? And all I'm going to do, now that's another thing. What size do you like your salmon patties? Y'all, I like mine small because I like all that crunch, right? So what I do is I take it in the beginning and I just get me a little old bitty wad of them. I don't know, y'all, that ain't even the size of a golf ball. But I don't know. You got to figure out the size you want on them. But what I do, I get about, somewhere about 7 to 8 patties out of 1 can. Okay? So I'm just going to take them and I do my little balls up. I'm going to get me a thing of balls going here, get them all rolled up, and then we will press them out into the little patties here after I get my balls rolled out. Okay, so I've got all my little balls rolled up. I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I got 14. So that was, like I say, I generally get 7 to 8 a can as far as the size that I want, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get my oil getting hot in here. And I want y'all to see about how much oil I put in there. About that deep, y'all, in the bottom. You don't want them covered or floating or none of that, right? But you need more than just covering the pan as well. So, okay, I've got my fire on high, so now what I'm going to do is just take my, the only reason I roll them in the little balls, y'all, is for a count thing for me. That gives me a count as far as me getting them even in size and stuff as close as I can. But I just take that little ball and I just smash it out about like that, and seeing it gets about the size of the palm of my hand, because I don't want them real thick, but I don't want them pressed out real thin either. You can see that they're kind of, you know, thick in the middle there. So I'm just going to take them while my grease is getting hot and get them pressed out. And I want my grease hot in the beginning, okay? You don't want to put them in there when your grease is not already heated up really good, because you'll be able to turn your fire back down once you start getting them frying. But don't put them in there with your grease not cranked up good and hot to start with, because you can back off of it once you do that. And that's all I do, y'all, is just take it and press it just like that. And that's going to be my little salmon patties. I don't have to put all that stuff in there. The crust is what's so delicious on them, y'all. Now, if I put anything in them anymore, I used to make them like what I was telling you about, like that recipe on the back of that can, which is good. It's a good recipe. Y'all probably like it if you've ever tried it. If I put anything in them anymore, I might chip up some onion real small and stir it in when I'm stirring in my flour and my salt. That's good in them. And I like dill in them and that kind of thing, but I would just rather they were like this, and then make some kind of dip that you like to dip them in. So, I mean, you know, that part of it's up to you. I'll eat mine fried. I'll just get me some ketchup out or something and eat them like that. I mean, I will. And some of the old timers like to eat them with something sweet, like a syrup. Can you believe that? Doesn't that sound crazy? But it's not too bad. I've tried it. It's just, I know how. I just like them like this though, y'all. So I've got them all pressed out now. We're going to let this grease get hot. And we're going to start cooking these babies up. And I'm going to show y'all how, you know, you got to be patient cooking them like this. You must have some patience with them, because you want them to fry just right. Ooh, my grease might be hot. Let me see. It's close enough. See, it's. I don't want to press my luck with it a little bit. Oh yeah, it's doing fine. Just like I say, I just don't want you to put them in there when that grease isn't good and hot, because they'll just come all apart and soak all the grease up, and it just ruins everything. I'll just put them down in there very gently. I'll be able to get all of these in there. It's so simple, y'all, with just the salt and the flour. I ain't about no cornmeal and all that with them, okay? I don't want the cornmeal with them. And I know y'all, people think that's crazy, but it's not. The crust on them is just delicious, just like this. It makes a wonderful crust on them. If you take your time and, ooh, ouch, and cook them like I'm talking about. I gotta make a hole for that last one. Gently though right now. See, I don't need to mess with them. Okay, there we go. We're gonna let them start frying, and I'll show y'all along the way. Okay, now, they've been cooking for a little while, y'all, on high, but I've been watching them and stuff, and see how they're starting to pop? But I'm going to show you, let me see if you can see it from that side. You can see the brownness of that, right? So now that they're browned, I can handle them. See, they won't fall apart when I flip them, right? I'm going to go ahead and turn my fire down to low. That's one reason they're popping, because it's cooking hot. But I'm going to go ahead now and flip them while the grease is hot and let them finish sealing. excuse me, let them finish sealing that top side of it. If I don't get popped to death. Oh my goodness. Whew. Okay. Alright, now I have my fire down to low, y'all. So now I'm going to let them be frying low and slow from this point on. Since I got the first thing to do though is get that first crust on the bottom sealed where you can handle them, where you can flip them around and stuff and not cut them apart, right? So see this way? See there? It's got a crust on it holding it. So now I'm going to turn it down low and let them just sit there and fry low and slow until I get that crust to where I want it. And it's going to take a little while, y'all. Okay? I'll see if I can time it, see how long it takes me, how long I end up frying them in here. And you do not have to fry them as long as I'm doing this, y'all. But if you want your crust like mine, you're going to have to do it like that. Okay? And another thing, don't mess with them. Once you've flipped them over here like this, don't mess with them, okay? Just leave them alone and let them sit there. We want them to seal off real good, and they're going to get brown on that side. But since the fire is down, it'll take them a little bit longer to get brown like we want. But that way it takes all that, where they're not all liquidy in the middle. I don't like for them to be liquidy in the middle. So it gives a good crust, and then they break apart beautifully. But anyway, main thing was, don't mess with them right now. Just let them sit there and fry, okay? Alright, that's been about 5 minutes, and I haven't touched them since I flipped them that first time, y'all. So now we know. Looky there. They're just as golden brown on that side as they are on the back side now. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to flip them again. This is my 3rd time to flip them, y'all. Making that crust so crunchy and delicious on there. So see there, and y'all, y'all realize that this salmon is done. It's not about getting this done. And see, we don't have no egg in here. Everybody always wants to put egg and all that stuff in there, and I just don't do all that. It's unnecessary. And see, that, like I say, you know, it's just flour and salmon and salt that's in here. And it's look at that crust on them, y'all. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can find something here. Here we go. I can get it with this. Alright, let me see. I'm going to show y'all up close. Look at that. That is making a beautiful crust, y'all. Okay? So I'm going to let them cook about, I don't know, 3 more minutes on this side, 3, 4 more minutes or whatever. It's cooking slow, so it's not going to burn them. Okay? It's not going to burn them. I mean, you'd have to leave them in there a long time for them to burn. Okay? But I just wanted y'all to see how, you know, how slow I cook them. And that way I get the crust on there that I want. So another 3 or 4 minutes or whatever on this side. And then I'm going to flip them one more time and let them just cook a couple more minutes on that side. And they'll be ready, okay? So I'm going to finish cooking them out and take them up. And then I'll show them to you then. Okay, y'all, they are ready. I'm going to take them up and put them over here on this. Y'all can't see from the glare of the light, I don't think. But I'm going to take them up over here on this paper towel for right now. And another thing I like to do, y'all, is let them rest. Let them rest a little while, okay? They do really good if you let them rest. They're going to be so crunchy and delicious, y'all. I hope y'all will try it like this and see if you like them. It's so simple. It's a can of salmon and some flour and salt with some cooking oil. But that is all I have in them, y'all. Okay? I'm going to turn my fire off because I'm going to let those sit there, and I've got me a little pot here. And I'm going to go on to the next video, but I'm going to show y'all. I'm dumping this oil in here that I fried my salmon patties in. I'm going to set that in the oven and let it cool off. But I'm going to get me a little more oil and put in here. And I'm fixing to make us some fried spud balls. Y'all ate those? I'll be back. Alright, I let them rest a while, y'all. Look at all that golden crunchiness right there. I want to show you. Look at that. It's so good, y'all. I love that crust on them. And like I say, you just have to be patient. Uh-oh, which side did I go on? There we go. Be patient. And it's got all that moist meat right in there. But you have a delicious, delicious crust on the outside. Salt and flour. That's all there is, y'all. Y'all try it. Tally-Faye Salmon Patties. Give it a try. You just might like them. I'll see you next time in the kitchen with Tally-Faye.